Hello, everybody. So let's talk about osmosis and diffusion. All right. Notice how I say both of those. Diffusion is a process in, let me rephrase that. Osmosis is diffusion in water. All right. So it's the same principle. The difference is osmosis happens in water. So what is diffusion? All right. So simple diffusion is something that you may have heard about, and people tend to just give it a nice, simple vocab definition. It's the movement of substances from regions of higher concentrations to regions of lower concentration. So, what that means is substances will move from areas of high concentration to low. Perfect example in the world, and this is a little bit silly, but it's something you can think about. If someone farts, you're going to smell it if you're standing right next to them, right? Give it a few minutes, you don't smell it anymore. Why? It diffused. Okay, so all of those odors that you smell at first are very highly concentrated because you're right next to the person. But if you give it some time, all of those odors will move throughout the room because they're going to move from that high concentration to areas where there's no odor. They're spread out. As they spread out, they're less concentrated, you don't smell it as much. All right, gross example, but it's something people like to hear. It's an easy one. Um, Things can get in the way, such as semi-permeable membranes. All right, and that can make things a little bit weird, but we'll get there a little later in osmosis. Another example you can see right here on the board, on the board, on the slide. On the left-hand side, you can see a solute, which can be something like salt, any kind of substance that's not water, really. So let's say salt is the red circle, and the blue circle is water. If you toss all of the salt on the left-hand side, slowly, two things will happen. Number one, there is a higher concentration of salt on the left-hand side, so the salt will move to the right-hand side. The second thing that'll happen, and this is very important, there is a higher concentration of water on the right-hand side, so the water will also move to the left. It's not just one thing or the other, it's a mix, right? Something has to replace that substance. Things don't just move and disappear. Going back to that little farting example, which I know is gross, think of it this way. If all of that odor moved and took all the air with it, not only would you not smell that odor anymore, but eventually all the air would disappear and you would start to suffocate. That's insane, right? So as that moves, other air will take its place. They're constantly flip-flopping, mixing around. What will prevent that from happening? A semi-permeable membrane, but we'll get that later. So this is the idea. Things will go back high concentration to low. There are great videos online too with animations if you want to do that as well. It'll help you out.